Welcome to the Heart of Commerce podcast. I am your host, Melissa Miller. I am the president of the Burleson Area Chamber of Commerce, and today we have two very special guests. We've got Aaron Samuels with TAC Advisors and Drew Myers all the way here from Rainbow, Texas.
Howdy.
Hi. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Glad to be here.
So Aaron and Drew together work together for Leadership Burleson, which is a leadership class that the Burleson Chamber of Commerce puts on. And Aaron is the coordinator for the event. Hi.
Hi.
How did you get roped into being the coordinator of Leadership Burleson, by the way?
I was kind of voluntold. 4 years ago, I guess, 3.5 years ago. We had Leadership Burleson, I think back since 2016. And under different names, it came about up to COVID. It took a break because of everybody was taking a break.
Right.
And so when he brought it back, they asked me to help kind of take the reins and try to get it going again. So that's how I kind of got involved.
Nice. And where'd you come from?
You already said Rainbow, Texas.
Besides Rainbow.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was kind of when you came in to be chamber president.
You're welcome.
That I got the opportunity to do the personal / leadership development component to the leadership class. And I do this all over the place now, but Burleson was the place that I started that kind of launched it. Nice. And Aaron and I have been working together. We're on our third year now. And let me just say this, I'll toot your horn. You do a great job of coordinating that, facilitating that, keeping the trains on the track. And every single person that's involved with Leadership Burleson is very fortunate to have you at the helm.
Well, thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah. He said, now say something nice about me.
I'll say something nice about you.
No, I meant you.
No, listen.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, and let's just get this out of the way. I'm going to hijack this conversation.
Awesome.
I've begged to come on this podcast. And I said, Melissa, let me come on and let me be your co-host.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like my audition. Now, I'm qualified to do this. I'm a podcast expert, toot toot. But I'm gonna kind of take over. Do you mind?
No. Would you please come on my show and just take it over?
You got it.
It's fine.
Why was a leadership class important to the chamber? I know you weren't here in the inception, but Why is it important to for a chamber to run a leadership class?
Well, I love how it actually connects the entire city together to the people who participate in it. So you're actually getting to connect with each level of city officials or when you go see schools, and you're just actually connecting with people in the community that you wouldn't otherwise connect to and getting those relationships established. And then you bring in you and you get to have that actual personal vulnerability time and have a deeper look into yourself, which makes you a better leader.
This is funny, Aaron. So we had the class this week, and Melissa actually showed up for the introductions for the personal development component to it. We met over at the fire station, and she texted me afterwards, and she said, I hate sharing. It ruined my day. Is that true?
Yes. Way to just put me on blast for the whole everyone.
But that's what I love about those mornings is we get to know each other in a different way. We get to go deeper than what do I do for a living?
Yeah.
Where am I from? What's my favorite color? We dig down deep, and we've had some great shares. Over the 3 years, we've had some great shares inside of Leadership Burleson. Don't you agree with that?
Oh, completely. And it's very interesting to go past that surface level to get to know people's story, which that's something I love. I just love connecting with people and understanding what brought them to where they are in this world. And when you get to that point where they feel open enough to share something deeply personal, something they may not share with other people, and all of a sudden you're in kind of this extended family group because you've spent so much time together.
Yeah.
It's pretty meaningful.
It's networking on steroids. It truly is. You know these people on a completely different level. And something you mentioned in the class with your job, that you love the story component to it. You love to hear people's stories. Explain that a little bit.
That's just something I've found through the years, that I'm a people person more than I probably would have given myself credit for originally, especially early in my career. But I love hearing people's stories, their backgrounds, what brought them to where they are today. Professionally, that's really helpful to see how I can help them as a consultant from a financial standpoint. But I think in this role, it's really interesting to know how can we help continue to connect to those from the community, whether it's in their business or their individuals or anywhere in between, to just have a better understanding of what's going on within our community. Because I've told so many people that I know It's hard to, I'm not going to say, well, I guess hate somebody, or hard to throw stones at somebody when you really know them. And so when you know what's going on at the city, at the state level, with whoever you're talking to, it's so much easier to connect and understand you've got an opportunity when you've got things that are going well that you can share, or things that you don't like that you know who you can go contact and really try to make a difference instead of just being mad and complaining all the time.
Sure, and you've heard me say this countless number of times. When you know somebody's story, there's a level of empathy, there's a level of understanding, there's almost a level of love. And like you said, you can't hate somebody when you know their story. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to see eye to eye on everything, but you can't hate that person. So we were visiting this morning. We had a call this morning kind of leading up to this podcast recording. And that's the point of this podcast, is to celebrate story, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So why was it important for you guys to start this podcast? We're just kind of going down the story narrative now.
Because we get to, as the chamber, we get to connect, and chamber staff specifically, we get to connect with the members, and we get to hear these stories, and we get to love on them and all these things, because we have that relationship established pretty early on. Basically, like, for so many of them, as soon as they fill out the application and we're emailing them back and forth, like, we've established that relationship. But the rest of everyone else doesn't always get to have that same level of connection and interaction. And so we just adore everyone, and then not everybody knows them on that kind of level. And so when we have the opportunity to allow the community and other businesses to actually get to know and connect with our members the way that we do, we feel like we're actually doing them a service, because they're connecting with the people who
walk through their doors.
So
props to the chamber for leaning into story. I think it's so important. It's what differentiates us from everybody else, right? Whether it's our story or our business's story or our community story or whatever it is. So, okay, so I have to ask you guys this about leadership class, because we've talked about it, Aaron. Mm-hmm. Leadership Burleson, or leadership Glen Rose, or leadership Solana, wherever you're doing your leadership class, is kind of a misnomer, right? It's more of an immersion class. Would you agree with that? It's kind of misbranded.
Yeah, I think in a way. I think the original point was to help develop leaders, and I think we're doing that, but it's got a higher focus on connection within the group and the peers that are in your cohort or class each year. I think connection to the community at large. So you have a chance to get to meet key leaders and key players in other organizations. Within the chamber, within the city, within the state, within nonprofits. I've tried to make it a big point on finding areas that people may not have connected with, because I think it helps give you a broader network to then network further over time. So I don't know that it's direct leadership as much as we probably originally intended, but I think you're getting that just based on the ability to see how other leaders operate within their organizations, and some at a very high level. And that exposure, I think, is just something you can't replicate in just anywhere.
Sure. And this goes way back. I mean, leadership classes across different communities, that's what it is. It's the immersion class. I just think it was misbranded out of the gate. I'm not picking on Burleson at all. So, but you guys, and I'm again tooting my own horn here, bringing me in to do that personal development / leadership development component is kind of leaning back into that. And I love coming in and pouring into your groups, and just our goal is to create ripple effects across the community, across their organizations / their businesses, and across their families as well too. So I really enjoy it. So thanks for allowing me to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been great. And that's some of the feedback that we get year over year. Is that's been a huge added value, I think, to the people in the class. Is it's that time of really, that's not something everybody thinks about, like, oh, I want to go take a personal development course. However, when you take the time and you have those discussions and you have somebody walking you through that type of conversation on a regular basis, it's meaningful, and I think it does carry over into other parts of your life as well.
Absolutely.
So thank you for doing that.
Now, you participated last year. You were in the class.
Yeah.
Well, ish.
I know. Ish. I tried.
You were registered.
Yes. Yes, I was.
You were at the opening retreat.
Yes. And I read the book.
Oh, okay.
Like, actually. So
she's talking about the tacos and chocolate diet. That's the curriculum that we use for the personal development component to it. But what was your favorite part of leadership? Not necessarily the personal development, but overall, did you have a favorite day or a favorite moment?
Well, but I didn't go to all of them.
Well, okay.
So what was your favorite?
You know,
Of the 3 you went to, what was your favorite?
of the 3 I went to, I really enjoyed when we went to Wings of Hope. That was our service project, which, again, if I only went to a few of them, and I didn't go to all of the places. Like, I really want to go to Austin. I haven't made it either time, but one day I'll make it. But I love when we went to Wings of Hope because it was just fun and different, and it really showed in both days. Like, I got to watch on the second time that you guys went just this year, and you can really see the natural leaders start to come out whenever they're working with the horses and doing the obstacle course and just whatever they had us doing that day. And I think that's really fun too, because it was like those sleeper people who I maybe didn't expect to be the ones that just really became that natural leader. You could tell who was a little bit more timid and who was just like, no, I got this. It's totally fine, whether they had experience or not. It was just fun to see that new level of confidence come out on people that I hadn't expected, maybe.
And she's referring to the kickoff retreat. That's the first event. So normally it's we do the personal development, leadership development component, and then they go out and go to the water treatment plant, or they go to the courthouse, or they go to a specific nonprofit. This is a retreat, and they're together all day. Aaron, kind of walk through that retreat and what that looks like. In the last 2 years, they've done it at Wings of Hope.
Yeah, that was an addition 2 years ago, actually, for the first time. So we've looked at the program every year since we brought it back, trying to figure out how can we continue to improve it. It was a little bit shorter when we first started it, and so one of the things we did was to try to stretch it out just a little bit longer. So we added some components like we have a table that we purchased at Project U that the City of Burleson Economic Development Office puts on. That's a phenomenal leadership conference that helps us kind of tap into more of that leadership side.
And that happens even before the class is really rolling, right?
That's really right out of the gates. That's the first thing. You've got to see the table if you want it. Right after that, our first official event would be a kickoff and then leading right into a team building day. And so the focus there has been we're trying to create connection earlier. And so by adding that right out of the gates at the front end of it, it's been a lot of good feedback. It's a chance to just spend a day together. So we've done it at Wings of Hope both years, last year and this year. That gives us a chance to let them do some guided session with us. We've also had just a service project, and I think that's a phenomenal time just to go serve together, because that bonds you together in a way that you don't anticipate necessarily. We've had sessions that you've led. We've done just the basic things where you got to talk about what's going to happen throughout the year, but it really sets the stage of trying to make sure everybody has all the information. You had a chance to meet each other and interact, just start to get to know names and get to know background. And that's led into our next big event is going to the state. And you got to get on the bus 6:30 in the morning. And 3 years ago, when we didn't have that session of team building and getting to know each other, it was a quiet ride to Austin for 2.5, 3 hours early in the morning. But what we've seen is the last 2 years, there's still some tired folks on the bus early in the morning, but there's little conversations happening. And then throughout the day, you'll see kind of different people pairing up and talking in different groups. And so it's really created a way for them to connect and engage much faster.
What I remember 2 years ago when we did the service project at Wings of Hope, Melissa, you were there. I don't know, I was wearing something like I have on today, like a button-up shirt, and I was presenting and stuff. And they're like, "All right, it's time to do some work." I'm like, "All right." I remember going out to my car and putting a T-shirt on, and the next thing I know, I have a chainsaw in my hand, and I was like, "Let's go." We were clearing a brush pile or something. Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So, and I think those types of things really bond people together when you sweat together. Okay, so what is your favorite day? You've done this for several years. What is your favorite day?
So they're all unique, but I think I would have told you the state day originally, but to me it's become the team building day, because I feel like that just sets the stage for the whole year, and I think that's made such an impact on the rest of the year that I would tell you that for me that's my favorite day, to see some of those connections starting, to get to know you stuff, and really just understanding who the personalities are in the class.
And everybody's still excited, gung-ho, and ready to go.
Yeah. Even though we tell them they're going to sweat, and we mean it. And they're like, okay.
They're okay, yeah.
Okay, so Melissa, let me ask you this. Okay. Since you've been in charge of the chamber and the chamber runs the leadership program, what is some feedback that you have heard that kind of validates what we're all trying to do?
The short is that they love it. And just like we keep saying, the whole point, right, is to make connections. And that is what they say they got out of it, which I think is great. That's just the short and sweet of it, is that they really do make the connections that we hope that they are. They enjoy it. They have fun. And that even beyond that is that, like Aaron mentioned, because they've connected, when they need something later, they're able to call that person because now they have that relationship with them. And I met them in this class and spent an entire year with them. And so they will call that new resource whenever they need something. And that's, again, part of the whole point, is that it is that extended, deeper level networking, and it works. And you're connecting cross businesses or organizations that wouldn't normally be connected, maybe. Like if you're at the hospital, then you may not be talking to a banker all the time, but then now when you're buying a house, or like you've got all these resources that you wouldn't necessarily have through just your regular job.
Have you heard anything over the years? Just
I was going to say
one-off comment.
The two things that I would think about when you mentioned that question is, one, we have like a group chat, group me for each class year, and so I still have each year set up in there, which, you have a thread, a bunch of group me's, and that's fine. But every once in a while, there's a comment or somebody's reached out to somebody else about, hey, Drew, can you reach out to me? I've got a question for you. So you can tell that there's still this sense of networking that's taking place now 4 years after the fact in some cases. But the other thing is, we've noticed some seats within Leadership Burleson are provided because maybe the business or entity that they work for are a level of sponsor for the chamber. But at least half, if not more, are just people that wanted to join. They were not a sponsorship seat that was just provided automatically. They're seeking out the opportunity. Some of those specifically have been because previous people have said, you need to go do this. And it's not, and they went and had to talk to their employer and said, hey, can we do this? And they had to look into it, and they wrote the check and paid to come because they saw the value and someone else told them you would benefit from this. So I think that's a big tell to me over the last 4 years, is that we've seen a shift where half, if not more, of the class is coming from folks that just are seeking it out and looking to engage with the program.
Yeah.
Sure. So we should step back a little bit and talk about, we've talked about the team building retreat, and we've, kind of mentioned several of the days, the Austin trip and things like that. But what are some other things that a leadership class normally does? Kind of, I'm going to put you on the spot. You don't have any notes, but what is your month-to-month agenda?
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably good. So that's the first thing. We meet once a month. So it's always, for us, it's the third Wednesday of the month, and it keeps it regular for everybody. That way you just know it's on your calendar. We essentially are year-round. We take January off, but otherwise we're starting February and we wrap up in December. And every month there's something, whether it's a team building day, a trip to Austin, which is an all-day trip. We have a focus on economic development office here in Burleson, the city. We go to the county one day. We focus on the schools 1 month. We have healthcare 1 month, nonprofits. So it's really trying to catch a pretty wide swath of for-profit, nonprofit, public, private, different types of entities. And we talk to the leadership of, from the hospital to the school district to, our state representatives to just folks within organizations that maybe just help with a nonprofit. And so I think that gives a pretty large sampling size, and just knowing what's going on in different ways you can plug in within our community.
So I'm going to give you props again, because, again, I do what you do in Glen Rose. Part of Leadership Glen Rose, I facilitate the whole day. So Aaron sets all of these days up.
Yeah.
How grateful are you, Melissa Miller,
gosh,
that he does that and you don't have to?
So much. And then the idea of, like, if and when Aaron's ready to step down and let someone else take this over, I'm like, you're fine. It's fine. I think you should just keep doing this. Do you want to just keep organizing it the whole time? Yeah. It's fine.
So the $1 million question, dude, why do you keep coming back and doing it again and again and again?
Let's see. So I was volunteered at first, and
you said voluntold.
Voluntold. Yeah, sorry, voluntold at first. After that first year, it took a lot of phone calls and emails and working with folks that had been in the class previously, or that's the way I approached it, to try to figure out what had they done, what would we do to bring back what they had already done in the past. So that was interesting to connect with some of those folks, and then I kept hearing across the board how great that class was. So that kind of piqued my interest, and going through that year was essentially me being part of the class. I was building it, but participating every step of the way because I'd never done it. And that's where I think I saw, again, for my background is I love hearing people's stories. I love connecting. So that's interesting and intriguing to me in and of itself. But then getting to participate and see how we could provide that experience or better every year has been just an interesting way to say, what can we do to make it better? How can we make it one step more valuable, one better way to connect and build better relationships with all of these groups with the chamber? Because I think that helps the chamber as well to say, we've got good relationships with everybody from the state to the city to the county. And that's been a phenomenal, I hope, for me, it looks like it's been a phenomenal resource. I hope it feels the same way to the chamber office as well.
What I think is cool, again, I'm part of it. I play a very small role in it, but I'm an outsider. So, but what I see is you guys being Aaron and Melissa, talking about how can we make this better, stepping back and be like, well, what if we did this? And what if we did this? Making little tweaks from year to year for sure, but even month to month, right? I mean, you guys have a good working relationship to make Leadership Burleson the best it can possibly be. Is that right?
We do, but I think Aaron's got just the full freedom to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I
Carte
tend to
blanche,
call
huh?
her and just like, hey, I thought about something new. What do you think about this? I like to spend some of her money, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
What is one of those things, like what's like a tweak that you've made?
Well, from anything of expanding, I think we talked about how do we make it longer and adding on things, adding a table at Project U, because it's just cost, right? So we got to figure out that.
It's just money. It's
just
really
money.
fine.
So how do we add something, and then how do we continue to build in the right cost and sponsorship so it all makes sense for the chamber? But even like little things, like we did a gift, like a cup as a little graduation something to take away.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think she just wants to decline my calls when I call her, or maybe she just ignores my text because she thinks she's going to do something to try to spend some money. But I hope that we're trying to be thoughtful with what we're doing so that it's all adding value and for the right reasons.
Yeah. And I think we do. It takes money sometimes to make money, but I think we just love on them. And that's the whole point, is we're trying to add value to it in a way that I hope they feel that we appreciated that they've spent this time with us, because they didn't have to. They didn't have to ask their employer, or their employer didn't have to send them, whether they paid for it or not, but they gave of their time. And that is the most precious commodity. And they were willing to commit to giving of their time for 11 to 12 months. And I think that's huge. And so usually when Aaron calls, the answer is yes. I think occasionally I have been like, I don't know, but we at least have the ability to talk it out and decide, like come up with something different or along the same route. But, we do continue to improve it. And I appreciate that that's always the goal, is like, we're not trying to reinvent it. We're not trying to start all the way over. It's just like, how can we polish it every single time to just make it that much better for everyone who attends, to continue making it where it's, oh my gosh, you have to go to this. And we try really hard.
Yep.
But we listen to the feedback too. And that's what we ask for. It's not just, hey, I think this, but it's like, we've heard people say this, or we've seen this, or whatever. And really, we do start asking for the feedback forms, and we listen to it and we ask them, just really be honest with us. Tell us what your thoughts are on this. And if we need to adjust something because they say that, then we adjust.
It's phenomenal. At the end of the year, they put all this feedback together in a packet. And I remember the first time I got the packet you guys put together. It's nice. It has pictures from the class and has all the feedback and any suggestions. It is impressive. And what it represents is your willingness to listen, like you just said. And I think that's huge. Sorry to hijack your podcast.
You're not. You love it.
I do love it.
Yeah, you love it.
I just wish I had some headphones on. It'd make it so much better.
Do you want the headphones? We'll just get them
next
for
time?
you. Okay, next time.
As she rolls her eyes.
Yeah.
Well,
Who needs good hair? Oh, I don't know. Just me.
Not me.
Not you.
Honey. So do you have any questions?
No, you go right ahead. Just keep saying all the words. It's fine.
Okay.
Do you love being part of this, actually? Like, honestly, I know you said that you were part of Salina and...
So the ones that I do, just so you know, I facilitate Glen Rose from gate to gate. I do leadership Bonham, Wiley, Granbury are the ones that I've done recently.
Okay.
And I love each community, but Burleson has kind of become my second home. I've spoken in this community countless number of times for Alex Phillips and different organizations here in Burleson. This is my third year with Leadership Burleson. I kind of feel like I need like a home here. a second home.
Okay.
But this community has become near and dear to my heart. So I like it for different reasons more than some of the other places. And I do love it. And I love working with you guys as well. You make it super easy. It's kind of show and go for me. I show up and just get to do what I love to do. And that's just to pour into people. And again, to create those ripple effects. So, and I think you guys have put an emphasis on that and then leaned into what I'm trying to accomplish. And I really dig it. Aaron, do you have any questions for us?
So, I think, I guess my biggest question I would have for you, honestly, would be, as the outsider that can show up, do the thing you love, and step away to go finish out your day or do whatever you're doing, but you've become more connected to this community over the last several years. As the outsider, what do you see as things that, like, hey, have you all thought about these things that we could add to Leadership Burleson, or how could we continue to make those improvements from maybe your experience in other communities, or just what you see in this community that, what about that? Y'all should go tackle that project or add that to the agenda.
I'm very quick to share best practices. And I've shared with you guys. Do you guys do survey after every single class now? That may be something that I shared with you guys that we do in other communities, that we want that immediate feedback. We want to repair this airplane if anything's wrong with it in mid-flight, right? So just getting that quick feedback, that's something great that we do. One of the things that we do in other communities, and I didn't know that this was a big deal until we got feedback, and this is in Glen Rose, that when we scheduled a day, it was gate to gate, packed full of programming. Well, they didn't want that. They wanted time to fellowship. They wanted time to network. They wanted time to get to know each other. So now in Glen Rose, we go to a restaurant, we block 45 minutes to an hour, and I don't talk. We don't have a presenter, or they just visit and eat, and it's very impactful, and it's turned into something really cool. But they asked for that, and we listened.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I know here, I've spoken during lunch, and, which I think some of them are like, let me eat my burger in peace. I don't need to hear you talking about.
But do you remember a couple of years ago, that was one of the deepest times of sharing that we had, was while you were talking and everybody was eating a burger or wherever we were, and somebody shared some pretty personal stuff that I don't know that is something she shared much, but we got into a very deep topic, and she felt comfortable to share because it was kind of later in our annual agenda. So I think they had some time to get to know each other and kind of build that safe space. But it's amazing, just in general, just having a meal, sharing, eating together, sharing that time, I think is impactful. But even still, we got into some stuff that was pretty meaningful.
Do you have any idea how many times I've shared that story with other leadership classes? Because you go into these classes, and Melissa kind of is a testament to this, people are apprehensive. They don't want to share. They don't want to open up. And, maybe the first couple of times that they don't. But this particular time, we were 5-6 classes in, meeting at Grump's. I remember it vividly. I don't remember what we were discussing, what chapter in the tacos and chocolate diet we were going through. I don't know. But this woman who, she was very friendly, but just didn't ever really share. And that's fine. If you don't want to share, don't share. But she dropped it on us, and she got deep quick, and it was the death of a child. Yeah. And it completely changed the dynamics of that day and the class moving forward.
I bet.
Other people thought, if she can share that, I can share this. And it just really gave people permission to open up. It was awesome. I mean, not awesome that she lost a child, obviously, but it was just awesome that she felt comfortable enough to share that in that moment. It was,
and especially somebody that had really not shared much at all up to, other than maybe like a direct question. I will answer your question, Drew. Fine.
That's kind of how it was, right? She would appease me. And then, but this time she just volunteered that information. It was awesome. And that's what we want to get. That's the place we want to get to, that people feel comfortable enough to get beneath the surface.
Yeah.
I think that really goes back to showing how uncomfortable I was last week with it, because the whole class had been together now for 6 times or so. And this is like the second or third that I've been in there. And really, it's probably just the second. Like, if we're being honest, it's probably just the second. And so I don't have that same level with them at all. And
You were the outsider.
I really was the outsider, and they're all together, and I may know their names and their faces and things, but like, that all feels so personal. No, I love ice cream. And I was like, what an idiot. Like, that's what I've got is ice cream. But I wasn't on the same level of relationship with them that they all have established with one another. And it was that's why I was dying inside, is because it was so evident at how close they had become in those few months that I was not on that same level of comfort and vulnerability that the class had. And it was like, wow, they do good work in here. Like, they actually, that's the whole beauty of it, right? Is that you have that moment of reading the book and reflecting on it and answering the questions and all of that. But like, you get down into removing walls and actually saying things. And then you realize, like, one girl, I do know her name, but I won't say it, but like, she was so authentic in her response that I had like, and it was hard for her to say, and she didn't love it, but it was just so beautiful that I was so glad that she shared. And it was hard, but I left going, oh, well, if Ashley could, sorry. I wasn't going to say that.
Shout out.
Sorry. We won't give any more than that. But like, it was just really beautiful to see her breaking down and letting everyone in that made it feel like, what a shallow jerk face. It almost like I was undermining their level of authenticity by not giving of the same of myself, and that's really why that was so painful for me. But
why it ruined your day, quote unquote, ruined your day.
Because I left feeling like this room is so connected and they were so deep. I mean, I don't know. It wasn't, but by comparison, it felt to me, right? They were so connected and so deep and so authentic with each other that I came in and was like this.
I love ice cream.
Yeah, like just so dumb. And that's what it was, is I just felt really shallow for the rest of the day that they have this connection and I did not.
Okay, so I'm going to put on my coaching hat.
Oh, good.
I do one-on-one coaching as well. I'm qualified to do this, so it's on now. I'm going to coach you.
I love that it's public. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for not texting it to me.
No, it's
fine. It's just. Mm-hmm.
So I want you to find the value in being vulnerable with people in this community, with your chamber members, with the people in the leadership class, because that will tie people to the chamber. Yeah. That will make people want to renew their membership. Yeah. That will make people want to come to the luncheons.
Which is how we got on the podcast, right? It's building relationship. It is being vulnerable. It is allowing people to connect with you. It just was just different on that day.
And I'm not saying you have to share all your dirty, dark secrets or let people see your skeletons, but let them get to know you and know that you struggle and you don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of confidence. You are not lacking in confidence. And when you walk into a room, you command the room. But you don't have it all figured out, do you, girl?
No. No, I don't.
Okay, good. That's a big first step right there.
Feels so good to say out loud. So I like ice cream. Any kind is fine.
Let's see. You also love a good icebreaker like Office Supplies. So
oh my gosh, that one made me so happy. When we did our very first, it was in January.
The social.
Yeah, and we did Erin's question of an icebreaker, which usually I'm like,
she hates icebreakers.
I hate them. This was my favorite thing Erin has ever done, and really did tell me so much about people.
And then I would have recording of that favorite thing Erin's ever done.
We can make that happen for you real quickly. And then like I had follow-up questions, and I really try not to be like a butter inner, but I need clarification.
A butter inner.
Like someone like paper clips, if that was their favorite. I'm like, wait, I need more information. Do you
the metal kind or the coated kind?
The metal kind or the coated kind? Do you like the big ones or the little ones? Because I'm a coated big one, and the little, I hate them. If you give me a plain silver paper clip, I'm going to throw it in the trash.
The social was only supposed to last about an hour and a half, 2 hours, but because of Melissa's follow-up questions to the office supply conversation. We were there for 4 hours.
But I learned so much information from people.
I like file folders. What type? Manila, legal, blah, blah. Golly, we were there forever.
But we learned. That was the point. Post-its, what kind? Lined, unlined? You write all willy-nilly on the paper? That's what I heard. Sideways writers? What are you doing? That is a level of whimsy I know nothing about.
I've used that prompt in other leadership classes after Aaron threw it out at the social this year. So props.
It's an easy one,
See?
but it's surface level and it got people talking.
They did. We didn't need to start with what scares the hell out of you, right?
But,
No.
That wouldn't have gone over well.
But I do think it's like you kind of step into levels, and it makes it easier to step into those deeper levels earlier because I like lined post-it notes, or I like metal ones, and you got to kind of own your stance, right?
See?
And
Yeah.
Melissa is going to question you on it, and it's okay.
Yeah.
So it's funny you say that. When we're in the personal leadership development component, at first, if you want to share, share. If you don't, that's fine. But by the end of the class, I think you remember, I think we did over at the hospital, and everybody had to share. I made everybody share. And we talked about what scares you.
Fears, yeah.
And we talked about surface level fears. Like for me, that's rats.
Spiders for me.
Bridges.
Okay. And then we talked about deep seated fears. Mine is I am terrified of being irrelevant. Right? What's your deep seated?
Not taking care of my family.
Right. Then when you want to share?
Failing.
Failing. Okay. That's a lot of people. So we go around the room and everybody's sharing, talking about, their funny thing. I think one year somebody was scared of glitter. Clowns is
Yeah.
pretty popular.
Glitter was an oddball. I'd never heard
It
of
was
it.
an
Yeah,
oddball.
that is interesting.
Yeah. But then you go deeper with what really scares you. And the cool part about it, people realize I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one terrified of failing. I'm not the only one terrified of not being able to provide for my family. And that was a powerful session, in my opinion. That was the second year I was involved in the last class.
I think what I notice from what you do and your questions and how you go, and I think we're trying to do that in kind of the overall sense, is it's not this we're going to start surface and we're going to dive deep and stay deep. It's kind of this meandering, right? So there's some lighter questions and there's some deeper stuff, and I think that allows you to kind of like, okay, we're kind of getting heavy for a minute, but we're going to come back up for air. And so you have this balance of like, okay, the fun moments where like I'm afraid of spiders, and I thought maybe I'd gotten over that, and then I told somebody not long ago I was driving down I-35, and in my peripheral vision while I'm driving 70 miles an hour, a spider's rolling around the inside of my window.
No.
And it was all I could do to not wreck that truck because I was like, man, that is still a thing. I didn't realize it was still that big of a thing, but until I could get it gone where I knew it was not a threat 6 inches away, it was a problem. But that you do have those surface level things, and I think it's interesting that to have those funny moments and to laugh and then to also get deep where, bring people to tears in some moments of like really vulnerable and sharing. And it's been a huge connection point.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of goes back to that Ted Lasso concept of be curious, not judgmental, right? So you throw out these prompts where you're just genuinely curious about people, whether it's what scares you or what do you love or what's your favorite ice cream, or if you could be an office supply, what would you be, right? Because in the world that we live in, we are so quick to judge.
Yep.
And it's really tapping into that curiosity component. That's what I love about it.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. It's just telling, and again, it's the little things like office supplies that wind up telling you so much that it's the unexpected information that you get out of the paper clips, or in my case, the gel highlighter, that you just wouldn't, I don't know. It's just a fun, quirky way to actually uncover some things about people that, I don't know. I liked it. Clearly, I love a good office supply.
So let's plug Leadership Burleson. We're in the middle of a class right now, so applications aren't being accepted for next year. I guess you would accept an application, but how do people apply? How do people do this? One of the things that we talk about, and you probably talk about it more than me, is let's create some FOMO.
I feel like you talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's take pictures. Let's put that on social media.
Yeah.
What do we do? I want people to get excited about, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
I am willing and ready to invest the money. I'm willing and ready to invest the time. Let's ride.
Yeah.
But let's say they're all in. how do they do it? How much does it cost? I mean, let's talk about all the logistical parts of it.
Okay. This year, Leadership Burleson is $800. And so it's a year-round program. Again, we meet really in January because we have that mixer in the evening once the class is established. So we meet every single month starting in January. It includes all of your meals, any of the mixer, food and things. The table at Project U, your entrance into everything. So there's no cost to you. You just have to show up and, put in the work and read the book, which is also included. And then the applications for that will go live in the fall. So usually around October-ish, they go to burlesonchamber.com and they click on leadership, and then it brings them to the application. And when it's open, they will be able to fill it out and submit.
And all the swag. You guys do a great job of giving away swag.
Thanks.
Whether it's the journals or the, do they get shirts? Do you guys get shirts?
No.
You guys don't do
We
shirts?
can.
You
That's a
should.
good
That's
idea,
something
though.
you should do.
Yeah.
See?
We do T-shirts and Glen and we do polos. It is awesome. It makes the photos look really nice.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The journals was a good thing that we added that, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
So our partnership with the City of Burleson Economic Development Office, Alex Phillips and his team, they're awesome. They've been huge partners for us with Leadership Burleson as we've gotten it going again. They helped sponsor bringing you on, I think, when we started that.
Yep.
And so that's been phenomenal. But one of the things we did was start adding those journals. And I think adding your component at the front end and then giving away for those that not everybody's a journaler, that's fine. But you can see someone that bring it with them and they're making notes, they're writing things in there, and it is intentional. And so it does give an outlet for those people that want that. And there's other people that probably have tossed it in the trash or whatever. And that's okay.
Or gave it to their kid, right?
Hopefully they didn't throw it in the trash. But either way, I think, for those that's the way they process, it's good to have that opportunity. And they're making notes in there, and you see them bringing it back every time.
There were people scribbling last week.
Yeah.
I won't shout out his name like you did, but
It slipped. I didn't mean to.
but he was working it up there. He didn't share that day, but he was working that journal. He may have been working on his grocery list or his to-do list, but he was filling
Either
that
way,
journal up.
he looked engaged
He was
in the
engaged.
class.
Yeah. That's right. Absolutely. Okay, so I think a great way to close down this Heart of Commerce would be to do a prompt that we would do during an introduction. Okay? I'm going to put
Okay.
you guys on the spot.
Great.
This is
I just
this
died
is
inside.
relevant. You just died inside. Come on.
It's fine.
Okay, so we always say our name, right?
Yes.
We always say a win. So just a quick win, and then we clap and celebrate wins because we don't do that enough in our society.
Right.
And then I want to know what you love about Burleson, Texas. Ooh, let's go. Aaron, you can start.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name's Aaron.
Hey, Aaron.
Hi. A win, you said, right?
Yeah.
A win. Let's see. We had a good day yesterday and got to just have family time, like cooked dinner, ate, swam. And when I've got a teenager and an elementary age kid, that's not always something we can coordinate. So when we can all just hang out,
Absolutely.
have fun, watch the basketball game, all the stuff together.
I love it. Very cool.
And what I love about Burleson, I love the community of Burleson in the sense that it is a growing town, but it still feels very small town in terms of I grew up in a smaller town in Cleburne, not far down the road. And I remember growing up feeling like you just kind of know everybody, or at least you feel like you're familiar with people. And so you can go out and you see people that you know at a restaurant or when you're at the store or wherever you are, you feel like you have some connection to folks. My family makes fun of me for that because I see people I know everywhere. But I think part of that is because we're intentionally here. We've been here for over a decade in Burleson, and that's where we planted. But also, I think there's just this sense of community in Burleson where people look for the best in each other and are trying to help each other succeed, whether it's in business or personal.
I love it. And then when we do a prompt, we always have our leadership class admit, do you live a blessed life?
I live a very blessed
Love it.
life.
Okay. All right, Melissa, you got it. What's your
All
name?
right. Melissa Miller.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Hey.
My win. I actually am really excited about it because over the weekend, my wonderful son helped me play golf. Like, we spent hours in the backyard on Saturday, and he coached me and watched my swing and critiqued it and actually taught me. Taught me how to play golf on Saturday night, and I did really well and lost so many balls over the neighbor's fence that it made me so happy because they were just like the little soft foam wiffle balls. So if I was hitting that over, I was hitting it over.
Okay. All right.
So
Let's
it's really
wrap it
good.
up.
Thank
hey,
you.
I've
Thank
got
you.
another win for you.
Yeah.
Melissa and I have known each other for a few years now.
Yeah.
She is always coming in with her hair on fire wherever we might be. You were on time this morning. You were actually early this morning, and I
was the
super
first one.
impressed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Super impressed. That's a win too.
Thank you.
Good job.
I'll take that. Absolutely.
All right. What do you love about Burleson, Texas?
Well, not to accidentally take Aaron's answer or copy him, but
I
really,
gave my answer.
really, that is it. I do love that we're such a community. Like we're a big little town, so we're definitely growing. I understand that 58,000, however many we have now, is not like 100,000. We're not Fort Worth by any means, and we're not trying to be, but like we're a small town, or we're a big town with a small town feel. There really isn't a lot of competition with things. Like our chamber members genuinely love each other, and they're here to help each other out. And you're having a hard time and you're in the same businesses or industry as I am, but I'll help you with whatever it is. And so I love that. I don't think that you get that feeling from bigger communities. And so we are big, but we are small. And I love that I get to live and work in the same community, and not just because like it's only 3 minutes from my house to work and I don't have to drive on 35, which is disgusting. But like just in general, I really do love that it just feels like home.
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
Do you live a blessed life?
I do live a very blessed life.
Love it. Hey, thanks for this opportunity. I really appreciate you letting me come on and do this.
Yeah, thanks for coming and
Did I
doing
do
my
a good
show.
job?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, cool.
You should come back.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
I would love to. In all seriousness, I know I'm not from here, but I feel like I come here enough, and I feel like my experience on podcasts qualifies me to be your co-host. That's me putting my plug in
All right.
for you to quote unquote hire me.
If you could send me a copy of your resume and a few of your podcast episodes to
And some
review.
testimonials. For
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll get back to you.
Perfect. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate y'all very much for being on, and sign up for Leadership Burleson, everyone,
Yeah.
because it's clearly a good
coming
time,
fast.
right? It is coming fast. We will start putting out the applications soon. Probably.
Okay. How do you close it down? How do you close down the podcast?
Well-
Land the airplane. Here we go.
Listen, I have lost a co-host, and so
She did it?
no, I did it, we did it, but we did the Heart of Commerce. Put your hand up. Thanks for joining us,
No
because
problem.
it's a heart right in front of the thing.
Got it.
See?
That's nice.
Aw.
That's it. Done.